Hello everyone, welcome again to another series of video from Electronics Eternity. Today I'll be showing you guys on how to make a complete set of a gas leakage detection system. In order for you to understand this video, you need to first check out the initial two videos where we will be covering basics about using GSM to connect to Arduino and how we can directly communicate to GSM using Arduino, and also one video about utilizing MQ sensor, right? So all those videos will serve us a basic knowledge about how we can possibly set up a gas leakage detection system. Okay, so be sure to check out those videos. It will give you some understanding and it will be helpful for you to understand this particular video that I'll be showing. Okay, so right over here I got some really messy arrangements of circuits. I wish I could make it more tidier, and so I really wish I could make it neater, but I think this is as simple as it gets, right? So but no worries, I'll be preparing the schematics for you guys. I'll be uploading that in my blog, so if you need a better picture on the connection, you can always refer that. Nevertheless, I'll try to make my explanations straightforward and very much understandable. Okay, so let's start with the very basic over here. I think if I could bring it closer, I basically have three LEDs over here, right? So you can see it's red, yellow and green. Okay, so we can see like three LEDs in series, and all of them are connected to pin 3, 4 and 5 from Arduino, right? So I highly doubt it if you can see, but this is how it's connected. Nevertheless, you can always refer back the schematics that I'll be preparing in the blog. So for now, just I think you can try to just keep up with what I'm saying. Okay, so three LEDs connected to pin 3, 4 and 5. These three LEDs will serve us as an indicator, just to give us some status about the GSM, right? So it's going to start off with red, and then it goes to yellow, and then it's going to go to green, just to indicate that everything is alright with GSM, and now we can operate our gas leakage detection system, right? So next is we have our GSM over here. So as you can see, the TX pin from GSM is connected to pin 7 from Arduino and RX from pin 8. I think we have discussed this in our previous video. So the RX from GSM needs to be connected to TX from Arduino, so it's always vice versa. Okay, so I have my Arduino firing up my GSM module. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using 5 volt from my Arduino to fire up my GSM, right? So you can see the cables here. So it's dependent on Arduino. I did not directly supply power to my GSM, so just keep in mind GSM is very sensitive, so you do not want to apply a voltage that could be more than 5 volt. Okay, so over here I have my power supply, right? So it's I'm connecting it to DC jack. I'm not using the V in and ground pin in the Arduino. It's quite risky to do that. I always prefer this. So this is the power supply, right? So and this is my MQ5 sensor. Okay, so MQ5 sensor is okay as usual. We have VCC and we have ground over here. So this is connected to the VCC and ground of the Arduino, 5 volt and the ground of the Arduino, and the analog pin from MQ5 sensor is connected to Arduino's A5. Okay, so that's pretty much it about the setup. I don't think there's anything else I have to cover. So as you can see, I have all my three LEDs blinking, just to indicate that the GSM is in a good working condition. Alright, so now let's jump straight into the code.
Okay then, so let's look at the code. Over here as usual we are starting two serial communication. One is for Arduino and another one is for software serial. Okay, so here we have the three LEDs that we just spoke about. Nexus smoke level, which is the value being read from MQ5 sensor, and this is the threshold value that we choose, right? I think I've mentioned this part before. This value can be anything depending on the level of sensitivity that you want. Okay, next I have a string, so this string will be used in the later part of code, so string GSM message. Okay, so before I get into it, right, so void setup is actually the longest part in the code, if you can see, right? So uh, my void loop is actually quite simple because the nature of the requirement is pretty straightforward, which is that whenever there's a gas leakage I'm supposed to trigger an alert. So that's about it. Okay, so but for void setup I have some extra measures that I have incorporated as as a setup for my, as a, how to say, as a starting process for my gas leakage detection system. Okay, I just want to do this just to make sure that the GSM is and the whole system is actually working as expected, and also it will help us to do a bit of troubleshooting if necessary. Okay, so let's go into it. The first one is just declaring the input output pins. As you can see, this is an analog input pin and the rest are just LEDs, right? So which are output. Okay, so the moment we have initialized SIM900, right after that we set the pins as inputs and outputs, and then we just serial print SIM900 is ready, right? And the next part is, okay, this code is not needed. Nothing to worry about this code. I will definitely post these codes in my blog, so you can always check out my blogs and then take the codes from there. Okay, so as you can see, uh, the next part are just getting values from GSM, right? So I've broken down these parts into three parts. One is to get AT command, another one is to get the power value from GSM, and another one is to see if we have successfully set the GSM to SMS mode, right? Okay, so let's tackle this one by one. It may look quite daunting, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's look at the first part over here, which is to test if AT command is okay, right? So what I'm doing over here in the first line is I'm just pinging AT to my GSM, and my GSM then gives some time for the GSM to respond, and then basically just pick up what GSM is saying. If it's saying okay, then you just serial print AT command is okay, right? So I think I've covered this in my previous video as well. So in that video I have spoken about this in detail, right? So if you need clarity, please go back to the same video and then check it out. Right now at this point, since we have already established the understanding on this part, so I think the takeaway here is to simply accept that whenever a GSM gives a response of OK, it's gonna just turn on the LED. It's gonna tell us that the AT command is OK. Alright, so this is an optional serial print message. I'll leave it to you guys to decide. Alright, so if not, if it doesn't happen, then it's gonna just say serial print is not OK. Right, so that's the very basic of it. So now I'm just nullifying whatever content I have in GSM MSG. It's actually GSM message, just to so that we can use the same string for the next check or validation. Right, I don't want to be declaring so many variables, and I don't see the need for it. Okay, so this is our first indicator, which is red LED. That means it's blinking, it's good, right? So the next one is just this whole part over here. So this whole part is to get the GSM, the power value for GSM, right? So as usual, we're gonna write in AT plus CBC. This has been shown in the previous videos as well. So I'm gonna give some time for the GSM to respond, and after that, I'm gonna whatever response I get from GSM, I'm gonna store it in a string called CBC, right? So over here, so I'm just finding where is the first comma and where is the second comma, just so that I can pull the information that I need. As you all can remember, AT plus CBC returns three values separated by three commas if I'm not mistaken. The first value will tell whether it is charging or not, and the second value uh, will give us the battery percentage, and the third value will give us the volt rating. So this whole uh, this whole codes over here will help me to distinguish what is the battery percentage, right? So I'm gonna take this battery, and I'm gonna take the value between the first comma and the second comma, which is the battery percentage. I'm gonna put it in a string called percentage, right? Because this is all strings, so I'm gonna have to put this in strings first. Okay, and then I'm just simply changing that value to integer. Okay, so that I can do some checks based on that integer value. If it's still in string, then I won't be able to do this check. Okay, so the idea over here is, so if my battery percentage is more than 50%, then my yellow LED is going to turn on, right? Uh, so this is the second indicator, just to indicate that our first and second status checks is good. Okay, next is I'm just putting in the charge string charge equal new charge. So I'm just converting it to string again so that I can populate the values over here, right? So in the serial print, so serial print will give me what is the battery percentage as of now, right? So this is just a simple massaging of serial print, right? Uh, so that's pretty straightforward. It's just string. I'm just appending some strings together with the new charge value. Right, new charge is the battery percentage that we got from here, and also from here and here. Okay, so take your time to go through the code if you need. So and I think if you for the first time it might be a little difficult to digest all at one go, but if you spend some time looking at it, then you'll probably get the picture. Okay, so the next one is setting GSM to SMS mode. Okay, so this is the whole part to set GSM to SMS mode. Let me grab something to drink. Okay, so as usual, again the same command send AT plus CMGF to GSM and then wait for 1 second and then read whatever response that the GSM returns. Right, so again the same check. If it's more than, if OK is found, then it's gonna say successfully set GSM to SMS message mode. And why do I have message over here? It's already SMS. Never mind. It's customizable, so you can change it. So our final indicator here is the green LED. So the moment the green LED is on, then that means we're good to go. Otherwise, then it's gonna just say that this setup failed. Okay. So we have covered our final indicator over here, but still that's not the end of our GSM setup. So I have some extra parts over here. So this is just creating an unique identifier for the GSM, right? So uh, I'm, uh, I'm appending few informations about the GSM. This will help a lot when you have multiple gas leakage detection system in a certain place. I've just prepared this to just give you guys an idea that we can actually do this in this manner, and based on that we can achieve a differentiation between different gas leakage detection systems, right? So let me explain to you. Okay, so this is okay, ATCGMI. So we're pinging ATCGMI to GSM, and it's gonna tell us what model of GSM that is, right? So it's gonna just put the value in model array, and we have a final string called GSM model, right? So GSM model contains, for an example, SIMcom limited, right? So it's just taking that response, finding the first comma, and then just taking out from that string of response from GSM, and just taking out what's necessary for us. I only need simcom dot limited, so which is why I have this substring over here, right? So you can like I said, spend some time looking into this, and then you'll understand what am I getting over here. Okay. The next one is IME. It's exactly the same setup. I will have IME number in my string IME number over here. Okay, so finally I got my identifier. Okay, so I have string identifier, and this is the GSM model that we got over here, and this is just a string which says IME, and this is the IME number, right? So I have my uh, whole string of identifier over here, and then I'm just gonna display it in the serial monitor. Okay, so that's uh, that's all about identifier. The next step is I'm just preparing a string to be sent to my mobile, just to give a heads up that the gas leakage detection system is ready, up and running, right? So I'm sending a string which says GSM message is ready, and this is the result, and this is the identifier. Okay, so again, all these steps are just to communicate all of this, right? So let's see if I'm missing something. Identifier over here, GSM is ready, this is the result. Yeah, we pretty much have everything that we need. Okay, so setting to text, this is the number, and this is just sending the message, right? So and then it will tell us that the initialization message is sent. So that's all about it, right? Again, I'm changing this value to 0 just in case. Sorry, I'm setting this string back to 0 just in case if you need to reset the whole thing again, then it will work seamlessly, right? So of course, this is not my mobile number. Don't try reaching out to me through this number, you're not gonna reach me. This is just an example. I just changed it because I do not want to reveal my real phone number. And just one thing about phone number, be sure to include the country code over here. Okay, so I think that's about it. The next is void loop. So void loop is pretty straightforward. Read whatever MQ5 sensor is telling you, and then display the value, right? So if that value is above the threshold value, then you're gonna create a string as named as output, gas leakage detected, and then after that you add what's the value over 1024. Of course, you can always change this, add some mathematical operation to make this value more meaningful. Probably you can give it in the percentage form, but I don't actually care much about this, so I'm gonna just use 1024. And I will serial print what's the output. So the output's gonna look like gas leakage detected at whatever number in comparison to 1024, right? So after that, it's gonna send the message, right? This whole steps are instruction to GSMs to send the message. So uh, I think we have covered until the end of the code. So what I will be doing next is I'm gonna just upload this code to my GSM, and then I will show you that if I get a message whenever the gas leakage is detected.
Okay, so now we're looking at the GSM after the code has been uploaded. So let me turn on my serial monitor. As you can see, the red LED turns on and then the yellow followed by the green. So this basically indicates that the setup is ready, and by now we should be getting a message. So let's see if there is any message received. Okay, looks like there's no message. Not sure what went wrong. Let me try again. Okay, I'm initiating serial communication again, so the whole process starts, and I should be getting a message. Okay, I noticed what went wrong. There's not enough power, so I forgot to include my power supply, so I didn't connect it. I just freezing. Okay, so now let me try that again, because without sufficient power GSM cannot send message. It would need like run 2 amperes to operate. So now you should be seeing some message. Okay, oh, okay, so the message took a while to appear. So let me show you that message. So this is what we've been showing in that serial monitor. Let me just focus. So you can see GSM is ready, power is at 63 out of 100, and right, so that's the message that we got. So now let me focus that. So now let me show you what happens when I take this MQ5 sensor and then I apply some gas to it. So I'm not gonna just completely turn on the gas like this. I'm gonna just press the button so that it applies some gas, right? So let's see. So when I do that, I should be getting a message. So let's wait for a bit. Let's see if the message appears. So it's the same message, we're not getting anything. So I'm going to try that again. Let's see. Probably there could be a delay. Oh, this time around my my GSM ground wire got detached. My bad. Okay, let me do that again. So earlier the problem was the ground wire from the GSM got disconnected. So let me do the same process again. Okay, now I should be getting a message. Let's see if I get any message. Oh, okay, there it is. So gas leakage detected, right? Okay, just to prove to you guys that I'm not making this up, so let me do that process again. Okay, so I'm applying some gas. So I should be getting a message on my phone. Let's see, my phone blinks. Okay, there you go. So we can see the message now. So gas leakage detected. So that is how it is. That is how it works on the GSM and the Arduino end. So next, we'll be showing you on how it looks like on the serial monitor, and while all this is actually happening. So I couldn't do both of this parallelly because I just don't have the, sufficient instrument to do that. Okay, so let's go to the Arduino serial monitor then.
Okay, so I have uploaded my code, so now let me show you how it looks like on the GSM end. Right, so let me clear output. So it's gonna basically say SIM900. This is when the red LED turns on, and this is just to tell you power is at 90% out of 100, and then it successfully set GSM, and this is the SIMCOM IMEI number, and then initialization message sent. So this is when I'm getting the message in my phone. So I'm gonna click auto scroll again, and then as you can see the value just hovers around the normal range. So what happens if I apply some gas, then as you can see the value shoots up, right? So this is when I short up the threshold value, and then my GSM will start sending messages, right? So I think that basically concludes and shows you proof on that the GSM works. So I will prepare all the schematics and the codes in my blog, so feel free to try out the project, and if you have any questions you can always leave them in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you and good luck trying.